The movie begins on Father's Day. Evan Weber and his wife Karen engage in playful intimacy while their children, Jake and Lisa, enter the bedroom bearing a homemade cake and a thoughtful present for their father. Enjoying their children's company, Evan playfully assumes the role of a monster before sending them out of the room to have some private time with Karen. However, Karen gently declines his advances, expressing her concerns about an upcoming exhibition that will showcase her artwork. In addition to this, she is preoccupied with planning a beach trip for the family, which Evan unfortunately cannot attend due to a shoulder injury and an overwhelming workload. Just as the couple navigates their conflicting priorities, a close family friend named Louis arrives. Louis is eager to see Karen's sculpture and offers his assistance in shipping it to the exhibition gallery. Recognizing Karen's hesitance in relying on professional movers, Louis steps in as a reliable and trusted option to ensure the safe transport of the artwork. After bidding farewell to Karen and their children, Evan finds himself alone in the house with their faithful canine companion, Monkey. However, his solitude is short-lived as he is faced with a substantial workload for an ongoing house project. With determination and a sense of responsibility, Evan sets out to tackle the tasks at hand, hoping to make progress before reuniting with his family. As the night grows darker, rain begins to pour heavily outside. A distinct knock echoes through the house, drawing Evan's attention. Curious, he opens the door to reveal two stunning women, Genesis and Bel, drenched from head to toe. Genesis explains that they were en route to a party when she realized she had left her phone at home, and Bel's phone had become waterlogged. Sensing their predicament, Evan kindly invites them inside to seek shelter and use his computer to locate the party's address. Eager to provide assistance, Evan guides the women to a warm and welcoming space where they can dry off and regain their composure. Understanding their discomfort, he graciously offers the use of his dryer for their damp clothes and provides cozy robes for them to wear in the meantime. Taking care of their immediate needs, Evan takes it upon himself to call an Uber for Genesis and Bel, ensuring they have a safe ride to the party. However, due to the inclement weather, the estimated wait time for the Uber is approximately 45 minutes. In the interim, Evan engages in friendly conversation with Genesis and Bel, offering refreshments and making them feel at ease in his home. Despite the unexpected turn of events, Evan remains hospitable, embracing the chance encounter as an opportunity to extend kindness and help these stranded guests find their way. As they await the arrival of the cab and the drying of their clothes, the ladies take a keen interest in Karen's artwork adorning the walls and Evan's extensive collection of vinyl records. Learning that Evan used to be a DJ, they engage in lively conversation about music, sharing stories of their own eclectic tastes. Genesis and Bel, both flight attendants, discuss their adventures and experiences while traveling the world. As the conversation progresses, the atmosphere becomes more intimate, and the topic shifts to personal matters. The discussion delves into the realm of sexuality, with the ladies candidly sharing their experiences and beliefs about the importance of fulfilling one's sexual needs. Bel, in particular, begins to show a flirtatious interest in Evan, subtly expressing her attraction. Sensing the brewing tension, Evan remains distant and pretends to look if the cab had arrived. The ladies excuse themselves to go to the showers to freshen up. Evan comes knocking, intending to inform them that their awaited cab has finally arrived and to hand them the clean, dry clothes from the dryer. However, when Evan enters the bathroom, he is taken aback to find Genesis and Bel unclothed, inviting him to join them in a moment of passionate desire. Evan, caught off guard, attempts to resist their advances and gently push them away, recognizing the need to maintain boundaries. However, the allure becomes too enticing, and Evan finds himself succumbing to the intense chemistry that envelops them. They take this to the bedroom where Evan has a threesome with them. When morning arrives, Evan discovers the unexpected sight of the two ladies, Genesis and Bel, busily preparing breakfast in his kitchen. Despite his insistence for them to depart, they continue to engage in playful behavior, disregarding his request of leaving his house. Suddenly, Evan gets an unexpected FaceTime call from Karen and he goes outside to conceal the existence of the two girls while maintaining a composed facade. She begins to share the details of their vacation, revealing that things are going smoothly, apart from Jake's encounter with a jellyfish that stung him. Upon returning inside, Evan is confronted with a disheartening sight. The ladies have defaced Karen's sculpture, leaving it vandalized and marred. The act further compounds Evan's frustration and anger as he assesses the damage done. Evan then starts to call the cops until Genesis says she'll tell the cops that he engaged in statutory rape, claiming she and Bel are both 15. With a sly smile, Genesis confesses that everything she and Bel had shared about being flight attendants was nothing more than a fabrication. She reveals that they had derived their stories from a movie they had seen, weaving a web of deceit that had successfully ensnared Evan's trust. Adding to Evan's predicament, his concerned neighbor Vivian arrives at his door, seeking reassurance about his well-being after the storm. Genesis takes advantage of the situation, embracing Evan and deliberately exposing their inappropriate presence to Vivian. Overwhelmed by the revelation, Vivian departs in disgust, leaving Evan to grapple with the consequences. Feeling the weight of the mounting chaos, Evan's resolve strengthens, prompting him to finally make the call to the police and report the break-in. Recognizing the severity of the situation, Genesis, in a moment of surrender, agrees that it is time for them to leave. Evan agrees to drive them back home and takes them to the address they claim as their residence and leaves them behind. The ladies walk away from the house and disappear into a nearby playground, their true intentions and identities still shrouded in mystery. After tidying up the aftermath and attempting to regain a sense of normalcy, Evan immerses himself in work, hoping to find solace and distraction. However, the peace is short-lived as a loud crash shatters the silence of the night. Alarmed, Evan rushes into the living room to investigate the source of the disturbance, only to discover a broken picture frame depicting a cherished moment with his family. Before Evan can fully process the sight before him, Genesis stealthily emerges from the shadows, silently closing in on him. In a swift and brutal act, she strikes him on the head with a sculpture, rendering him unconscious. Darkness envelops Evan's senses as he succumbs to the forceful blow. Evan finds himself in a harrowing situation as he regains consciousness, realizing that he is tightly bound to his own bed. Genesis, one of the women he encountered earlier, is casually applying makeup in front of a mirror nearby. To Evan's shock, Bel enters the room dressed provocatively in Lisa's school uniform. Bel aggressively advances on Evan, attempting to force herself onto him, while Genesis records a video of the event. Despite his vulnerable position, Evan seizes the opportunity to free himself by allowing Bel to straddle him, allowing him to loosen his restraints and throw her off. Determined to confront Genesis and put an end to the ordeal, Evan begins to search for her and they begin a fight. However, his efforts are abruptly halted when Genesis ruthlessly stabs him in his already injured shoulder with a fork, causing immense pain and rendering him incapacitated. After tying Evan to a chair with an electrical cord and placing headphones on him, Genesis and Bel subject him to a twisted game show-style torture. Whenever Evan gives an answer that Genesis disagrees with, she unleashes a loud, deafening sound into his ears. In the midst of this unsettling scenario, Louis, the family friend, arrives at the door with his keys to collect Karen's sculpture. Genesis takes advantage of the situation by pretending to be Evan's niece, with Bel acting as her friend, and claims they are filming a music video. But after a look at the situation of things in the house, he starts to become suspicious of the girls and demands to see Evan. After searching around and hearing Evan's muffled noises, Louis runs to offer assistance. He removes Evan's gag but rushes outside when he hears more commotion. To Louis's horror, he discovers that the ladies are vandalizing and destroying Karen's sculpture. The shock of witnessing this act triggers an asthma attack, and Louis desperately needs his inhaler. Genesis taunts him by tossing the inhaler back and forth as Louis tries to catch it. Tragically, in the chaos, Louis slips and hits his head on the base of the sculpture, resulting in a fatal accident. After concealing Louis's body, the ladies coldly plan to carry out Evan's execution at dawn. They sadistically taunt Evan with a distorted, monstrous voice, reminiscent of his interactions with his children. It becomes apparent that they had been spying on him all along. As the torturous game show continues, Evan reaches his breaking point and demands an explanation for their motive in attempting to kill him, especially considering their earlier advances. In a destructive frenzy, the ladies mercilessly vandalize and destroy everything in the house, including Karen's precious artwork and sculptures. In the midst of their destructive rampage, they stumble upon a concealed gun hidden within one of Karen's ruined sculptures. With the situation spiraling out of control, the ladies devise a chilling game of hide and seek, forcing Evan to participate against his will. Seizing a fleeting opportunity, Evan seizes his chance to escape the confines of the house. However, his desperate bid for freedom takes an unfortunate turn as he stumbles and falls outside, inadvertently alerting Genesis to his escape attempt. Cornered and helpless, Evan finds himself at gunpoint, facing the grim reality that his predicament has taken an even more dangerous turn. At the break of dawn, the ladies proceed with their chilling plan. They restrain Evan once again, this time burying him up to his neck in a grave. Genesis menacingly brandishes a small sculpture, intending to use it to end Evan's life. However, instead of carrying out the act, she slams the sculpture down next to him, reveling in her sadistic amusement. To Evan's shock, the ladies disclose that the entire ordeal was part of their twisted game. They target married men, tricking them into sleeping with them, all in the hope of finding a man who can resist their advances, yet no one ever has. Bel admits that Evan was her favorite conquest. Before departing, Genesis hands Evan his phone and reveals that they have uploaded the scandalous video of him and Bel on Facebook. They take delight in the chaos they have caused, leaving the house in disarray while playing a hauntingly eerie song. Determined to salvage his reputation, Evan musters the strength to pull his hand out of the ground, intending to delete the video. However, in a moment of unfortunate clumsiness, he inadvertently likes the video instead, compounding his embarrassment. As the video begins to accumulate hate comments, Evan is left to confront the aftermath of his harrowing encounter with the manipulative and deceitful ladies, while desperately attempting to undo the damage caused by their viral upload. Karen and the kids returned home from their vacation to find the house a mess. Furniture was overturned, dishes were broken, and there was trash everywhere. But the worst thing was what had been done to Karen's sculptures and family pictures. They had been spray painted with hateful and ugly designs. Jake, Karen's 10-year-old son, didn't seem too concerned. He just shrugged and said, "I guess Dad had a party. Thank you for watching and like for part 2."